It's story time with Nana. Today's story is Lexie the Word Wrangler, written by Rebecca Van Slyke. Lexie was the best wrangler west of the Mississippi, and everyone knew it. She wore a tall hat, fancy boots, and a bandana. Like all wranglers, Lexie could ride a horse, twirl a lariat, and herd cantankerous cattle where she wanted them to go. But Lexie wasn't an ordinary wrangler. She was a word wrangler. She could tie words together. She could take an ear of corn and a loaf of bread and make some tasty cornbread. She could take a stick of butter and a pesky fly and make a beautiful butterfly. In the spring, Lexie watched over the baby letters on the ranch until they grew into bigger and bigger words. A, at, cat, cattle. A, age, sage, sagebrush. Every morning in the chuck wagon, Lexie mixed up a fresh batch of words. She can take an annoying pest and turn it into some fine pets. She could take a small spot and make it into a post. Lexie could herd words into sentences. For sale, barn cats. If y'all have a pest problem, they will help you. They also make great pets. She could hitch sentences together so they can do a job. Lexie: Dear Ma, life on the ranch is as fine as frog's hair. I'm busy putting in some posts for a new fence in a spot near the barn. In the evenings, she pinned words together to tell a story. Once upon a time, there were 3 little jackalopes. Everyone agreed that Lexie was a champion word wrangler. Nearly everyone, that is. Lexie noticed that not all was well on the ranch. At first, it was little things. When Lexie got dressed in the morning, she noticed that the D was missing from her bandana. Wranglers don't wear bananas around their necks, she said. Then it was bigger things. After a rainstorm, she looked up in the sky and said, Some varmint has stolen the rain from the rainbow. It was true. Instead of a rainbow, there was a bow in the sky. When Lexie rounded up a herd of calves for a neighboring rancher, someone released a pestle of baby G's into the calf pen. All the little dogies became doggies. I got me a bone to pick with some rascal, she said. That night, when Lexie unrolled her sleeping bag, the twinkling star in the sky turned into rats. Ain't no fun sleeping out under the rats, she said. Looks like we got us a word rustler. Lexie dusted off her bedroll. I aim to find that word rustler and bring him to justice, she said, and she headed into the bunkhouse to sleep. Next morning, she rode off into the desert to look for the word rustler. But that rascal had added an S, turning the whole desert into a giant dessert. Don't that just take the cake? She said as she picked icing out of her horse's hoofs. Time to trap this scoundrel, Lexie said. She set a loop in her lariat and climbed a tree by the barn to wait for the word rustler to strike again. Lexie waited and waited. Finally, along about sundown, Lexie noticed a shadow slinking along the corral where the longhorn cattle were. He was just about to steal the long from the longhorns when Lexie's rope snaked out. Looks like I caught me a word rustler, Lexie said. What were you planning to do, kid? Aw, shucks. I wasn't going to hurt the critters, the kid said. I was just aiming to have a little fun. And leave me with a corral full of horns? Asked Lexie. Darn tootin', said the kid. Lexie tried to hide a smile. What's your name, kid? My name's Russell, he said. Please don't tell my pa. Justice must be done, Lexie said. Aw, shucks, said Russell. All I have ever wanted was to work with words like you. You do seem to have a talent for it, Lexie admitted. She looked at Russell. I hate to see good talent go to waste. If and you promise me you'll use your talents for good, maybe I can help. You've got my word, said Russell. Lexie uncoiled her rope from around the word rustler. She lassoed up a big W and a little E. Soon Russell was no longer the word rustler. He became Russell, the word wrestler. Now Russell works side by side with Lexie on the ranch. He helps her break the wild words in the herd. He can take a dangerous rattlesnake and turn it into a baby's rattle and a harmless snake. He helps Lexie train the baby letters to work together. N, win, wing, swing, tree plus house, tree house. And Russell even helps the other young'uns to learn to hitch words together. Rope, tree, the, and let's ride the to house on swing. Let's ride to the tree house and swing on the rope so they can become word wranglers themselves someday.